Hey guys, so this is Friday's ELA Notes. You're going to be answering the big question, and you have a spelling test over in Google Classroom. It is on a Google form. Just follow along there. Miss Brown made the spelling test this week, so it'll be on a Google form. All right, today with the big question. Chapter 4, big question. That's why on my screen over here I have the Chapter 4 story. It says, how did growth of trade during the Middle Ages affect the way people lived? Directions. Write a paragraph answering the question, and then your sentence must include examples from the text. So what I did is I glanced through if the computer's going to move, and I found in the text where it starts talking about trade. It's on page 30. Then what I did is I went through and I read pages 31 and 32, or wait, 30 and 31, because that's where it mostly talks about the growth of trade. And what I did is I went through and I made a few decisions on some topics that I'm going to look at when I write my answer. So, when trade created an outlet for many people who were in a lower class to be able to get out of it, the trade created cities. It did all this stuff. It allowed people to move from a serf lifestyle to something different. And because of that, it created a whole new social class called the middle class. These people became rich and influential members of society. And it also created guilds. Guilds, in my opinion, this is just me, are similar to what we have today that are known as unions that kind of protect the workers. So these are some things that I'm going to mention in my topic sentence. And then from that point forward, I'm going to look back through the text and see where I can find examples of this so I can put it in with my sentences. So let's look. I see more people involved in commerce. We had craftsmen and merchants, created the middle class, rich and influential, and then guilds. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn the question into part of our topic sentence answer. And it says, how did the growth of trade during the Middle Ages affect the way people lived? Now, let me see here. First, we're going to answer that question. So, we would start off, first off, I would start off on a clean sheet of notebook paper because I know I'm going to mess up, but for purposes, I'm doing it just to show y'all. So, I'm going to indent. Let's see. The growth of trade during the Middle Ages affected. So I'm changing the verbiage there from affect to affected. The lives of people by creating a new position in the social class system. And it did. It created, and then comma, the middle class. All right. Now, that is my topic sentence. The growth of trade during the Middle Ages affected the lives of people by creating a new position in the social class system, the middle class. Now, from that point, what I would do is I have 3 examples here. More people involved in commerce, rich and influential members of society, and it created guilds. What I want you to do is I want you to use these 3 ideas to answer the rest of the question. Okay? Talk about how more people got involved. And because of that, towns grew. That's in the text. You can find it. Also, as a result of trade, with more people coming into town, more people would buy things. And because of that, these merchants and craftsmen became rich. And with money comes influence. And then finally, to keep everything under control, they created guilds. And these guilds, tell me what the guilds did. And then you need a good closing sentence. And what I would probably do with my closing sentence is say the growth of trade in the Middle Ages benefited more people than it hurt. I'll do something to that extent because you need to close it up with something about the middle class and how it didn't really hurt. Well, it did hurt some, but how it was more of a positive thing than a negative. Okay, that's what you have to do in addition to your spelling test. Okay, and I'll be back in a few minutes with your practice and skill.